Hello people, you lovely, lovely people. I want to talk about a deep well that many of us don't think about. But you know, when you decide to live on a faraway place from the city, uh, water is a bit scarce because sometimes the barangays, if it's a small little barangay, there will be no water, only the bumbas, what they call the bumba, what you pump the water from from the well. So one of the things we had to do was dig a deep well. And I'll talk you through the process and I'll show you ours. So, like I said, we had no water when we got here, and we were renting a place up here when we were building this house. So, of course, you're building a house, you need water. So, there are many people who do it, and there are different kinds of ways of doing it. There is the drilling, which I think is I think it's either 8 or a 10-inch diameter. So, we didn't go for that option, and incidentally, that is the most expensive option because they charge you so much a foot or so much a meter. But we decided to get these so-called professionals in who just do deep wells around here. When we got them in, and there was about 7 or 8 of them, and so I mean I can't really, because it's all done now, but I will just show you what the location and things like that where we had it done. Okay, so bear with me people, bear with me. Right, so this here is the lid of the deep well. Okay, and it's got a top on it which is removable. The pipe work goes under here to the pump, the Jetmatic pump. Okay, and this is the gubbins for it. It's a bit dirty because when they built this wall here, there was cement everywhere, and I think ours is set to 40 psi. So as an example, let me just turn the water on. So of course when it gets down, I think he said 20, I think it'll come on at around about, oh no it's not, is it on? Let's see. Oh yeah, here it comes, and of course it will build back up again. And you know, because we've got, I'll just turn that off, I'll just turn it off. And of course when it gets to the 40 it'll cut out. Now because we have barangay water now, I put this valve in here where I turn the pump off, or the water pump, and put that one back onto the barangay water. But when we first came, here, we had nothing like that. I'm sat here now because my neighbours are fixing their bike and they keep revving the engine, but I'll talk you through it, okay? When we had that installed, we didn't know how long it was going to take. They didn't know how deep they were going to have to go before they found a decent supply of water. But ours is 90 feet. It went down 90 feet. So we had to get a deep well pump, because there are different pumps. There is a shallow well pump, a deep well pump. And the difference is, not a lot of difference in price. I think we paid about 8,000 pesos for our deep well pump. And it's an Italian one with, again, copper windings. Very important to get copper windings. Don't get aluminium windings, people. It's not going to last. And it's got 2 pipes that come off it. I think one sucks and one blows, so it causes a pressure in the well and it sucks it up because it's such a depth. And there is like all these fittings that go like on the bottom of the pipe, like brass fittings, not the air foot valve. There's a different kind of valve that is necessary for this deep well pump. And you get a tank, and it's like a pressure tank, and it's got like a diaphragm inside, and you put a little bit of air in it, so it's a little bit of a water holding tank. The bigger tank you get, the better, because the less your pump will come on and off. And the total cost of ours was for everything, and the culverts as well. We had 5 feet in circumference culverts, because it was a wide well. And of course, when they were digging it, it was collapsing, caving in. So, and I was looking down at the people doing it, I said, my goodness, you know, I was scared in case there was going to be an injury. But these boys do it all the time. And of course, when you get to a certain depth, there is no air. So they had this gasol tank that was converted into a little compressor on the top and a pipe going down. So it was blowing cold air down there for the workers. And they were down there for 20 minutes at a time when it got deep, and they were back up, another one was going down. And till they hit like a riverbed, they got the shale and then you got the big rocks, and they went past that. They were kept going down, and fair play to them. But they charged at the very beginning, people, and they might do this with you at the very beginning. They give me a price for, I think it was 40 feet. And that was I think it was like 40,000 for 40 feet. And anything past that, it was, well, for all of it, they charged us about 90,000 complete, and that was with the culverts, the fitting, the wall around the top. I bought the pump, and I bought all of the pipe work, and someone else installed that. It wasn't these people who installed it. They just dug the well and they were gone. And all of the spoils that came out of the hole, because our house is elevated, because we built on a bank like that. So where it's elevated, you can see here, all this is, we used all of the spoils for our base here, and it was rocks and stones and everything like that, so it was a good solid base. So everything was used. The mess was terrible, of course it was. The workers, they did a good job, but again, Filipinos, they do it their way. But I thought, and they were going down in a bucket. They built like a scaffold out of coconut wood with a rope on it and a bucket tied, and they were just like lowering him down into that. And I was looking down and down, saying, "Oh my God, he's going to die." Like if that rope snaps, or there is a cave in, there is no way on this earth that they would have gotten them out. And I asked them about this. I said, "Have you ever had any accidents?" And they said, "Oh yes, we've had some. No one killed though. No one killed. Thank heavens for that. Because there's no health and safety here, people, at all." They were going down there in bare feet and just shorts on, and they're coming back up black as crows, and the mud and the water all over them. They just don't seem to care. They were just getting on with it. And I'm talking to you, I'm making a cup of coffee. So, yeah, the culverts at the time were very expensive. They've come down in price now, but for all of it was, I would say 100,000 all in with the pump and everything. And at the end of it, when it was all installed, the people who come around to fit the pump said, get like a lot of unscented bleach. I can't remember how many kilos we got, but we did get a lot. And we put that in there, and we let it run for hours and hours and hours. And because there are a lot of bumpers around here, the pump that they pump the water, a few years ago, because we've had this here about 4 years now, there was a drought here, and everyone's well went dry, except this one. And the people who's in this local place, they were coming around and using that. I said, yes, of course you can use the water. So this, with it being the depth that it was, it never ran out of water. And because of the size of it, and this is another thing that I would like to say, if you get drilling and you get like an 8 or a 10 inch, I think 12 inches the maximum drill that goes down, your supply is only going to be that 12 inches of water in the ground. So you might be using more water than what that well is capable of filling that pipe up. And this was one of the reasons why I didn't go for the drilling, is because I wanted a big well and I wanted the water to be there all the time. So like I said, everyone around here, they were coming around and they were using our water, and it never went dry. It never did. And we've still got some big rocks that come out of there. How they got them out the hole, I just don't know. They were big rocks, maybe 3 feet in. They were massive, and they just tied the rope around them, many ropes, and they got more people in just for that day to take these big rocks out. It was very interesting watching them. And ever since then, we've used it. But a couple of years ago, or a year and a half ago, the barangay decided to put water on here. So they did a drilling with a big holding tank down the bottom here. So they did a deep drilling, and the water that we have now is from the mountain. And so we've got that now, but it's to save costs for the barangay, because they only charge us 200 pesos each a month. I think it's for 10 cubic meter. Sorry, 10 cubic meter. I don't think anyone uses 10 cubic meter, but it's only run by solar power. So when there's no sun, it doesn't work. Okay, so we do use this 50-50. So when the barangay water's on, we use that. When it's off, which I don't know if it's on now. Yeah, it's on now. But that could go off at any time. If there's no sunshine, it'll go off. So then we switch over to the, to the well. So to us, it was a God save doing that. It was a brilliant thing to do. Expensive, but once you've paid for that expense, that's it. You've got it. You've got it forever. What I would say though is get a good quality pump, the Jetmatics, because there are some cheap ones, 3,000 that I saw, 4,000. You could get a submersible one, but the way that I see it, if you've got a submersible pump and your lid's on, because there's a law here where you got to have a wall. I think ours is only 2 courses high. I think it's like 3 courses, and a lid on the top. So if you did a submersible pump and it went wrong, you've got to take that top off, you've got to get the pump up, you've got to fix it. So we had a top bearing one, and touch wood, we've had that there now for 4 years and it hasn't gone wrong. But what I would say is, if you don't use it for a while, it gets a bit sticky, so you have to take the back off and where the fan is, just give it a spin and give it a squirt, and it's good again. But because we use ours every other day or every day for an hour or 2 or something, we've had no problem with that. But at first we did. And run your water when you first do this. You don't need me telling this, but when you first dig a deep well, the water's cloudy, it's horrible. So you got to flush in. You got to flush and bleach. I was going to put some gravel in the bottom, but they said no, don't do that. Just bleach. And it's been absolutely excellent. And as I said, it's never run out of water. The cost, like I said, like 100,000 all inclusive of all the bits and the pieces, the pipe and the digging and all of the culverts. So I'm saying expensive. It's not expensive for water, is it? When you need water, because otherwise we couldn't have built this house and we couldn't have lived in here. So again, if you're in the city, it's not a problem for you people because you get it from the barangay or from the city. But also, we had this tested, I think 3 months after we had it done, and the DHWD or whatever you call them, they come out and test the water. It's very good water, sir. We've never drank it. I never would drink it, but they said it's okay to drink. It's got no smell or anything like that, and you bring it up and you put it in a glass and you leave the glass, and it's just crystal clear. But as I said, it's not for me. But every 6 months, I think, we get like a bag of this special bleach, and it's just unscented bleach, and I think it's made for these, I think. And we just throw that in there. We let it sit for a couple of days, and then we flush it. Like I flush all your pipe work and everything like that. The holding tank or the pressure tank, every so often you'll have to bleed that. I don't know why. I think it might be where the bag inside, the bladder inside, so the bladder bag, it might lose a bit of air or something like that. So you do have to bleed them, but it's easy. The bleeding system on these things is so simple. It's unbelievable. But that's about it. It's not a problem. It's easy to do, and you won't regret it. If this is what you have to do, if you're in a far off place like we are, or you're building a house far away from the water supply from the barangay, then you probably have to do one of these. But make sure you dig it deep enough where you have got water, and don't dig it obviously at the end of the wet season or the beginning of the wet season when it's just starting to rain, because you get a false reading of your water. Dig it during the height of the dry season where the streams are empty and everything like that, because that's when you will know if you're going to have water for a long time. Because if the streams are empty, you've got to keep going deeper and deeper and deeper till the water comes up. And what they did, their idea was, they will not stop digging till they got 4 foot of water in the dry season. And they were, we pumped the water out in the morning. They left it for, when they got to the depth, they left it. They come back the next day, and there was 4 foot of water in a 5 foot circumference. So, like I said, we've never run out of water. Top tip: don't dig it at the start of the rainy season or at the end of it, because all the streams are going to be full. So you might get a water reading at like 15 meters. You think, yeah, that's good. And they will stop, and then during the dry season, it'll go, you know, and you'll have no water, which is what's happened with a lot of the the bumbas here. You know, they dug them and they just found water straight away, going down not so deep. And, you know, when the dry season come, they went empty. But that's it, people. Just, you know, it could be useful to, you know, one or two of you. And it's not a bad process. Yeah, there's dirt and shit, but you expect that when you're digging a well. But that was it. And I hope it's helped someone. And take good care. God bless you all. Whatever you do it well and stay fit and healthy. See you next time, people. Thank you.